everyone, I'm V. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is all about study tips and revision methods that actually help, especially for everyone who is going back to university or starting school or whatever it is. These tips are super useful and I wish I kind of knew this stuff before I started. I'm here to basically just tell you guys the real, like what I actually do, and yeah, I hope it's helpful. My first tip is all about maintenance. Number one, make sure you have a Google Drive account. I just think it's so much easier having all of your work online on a laptop, easy access. If you forget your laptop at home, fine, go on your phone. Forget your phone, borrow a laptop. Like, you can always access it, whereas when you just have like everything on just paper or everything on a memory stick or just on your laptop drive and you lose it. Whereas if you have it online, you can access it whenever, wherever. And with your Google Drive, you obviously have access to Google Calendar, and I would say you need to maximize and utilize that so much. Download Google Calendar. You can sync that onto your phone as well and onto your laptop, and it means that you can get instant notifications instead of having to wait until like you open your study planner. You can access it anytime in case you forget where you need to be, what's going on. You've got like quick, easy access. The third thing that you do the moment you get to university is download your syllabus or your handbook. This is going to come in so handy because now with your syllabus and handbook, put it into your Google Drive and into your docs or something, then read through it, take out as much information as you can, and the most important information from that is going to be your dates and stuff, and this is what you're going to put into your Google Calendar. So if you get all of your dates on your essays, your deadlines, what's coming up, all the important things that are happening to do with your course that you need to stay on top of, you put those into your Google Calendar straight away in red, so they are there, and you add some reminders so you remember that it's happening. And if you can visually see something, you're more motivated to get it done. This is how you build up your timetable, and you have like good efficient timetable, because that's what's going to keep you on track. Get a good schedule going, and you get that from your handbook, which you get from downloading it, which you get when you put it into Google Docs, which you get when you put it into Google Calendar. It all makes sense. So that was all of the tools and things that you need to make it all happen. To the side, a study tip that I would actually recommend is download your lecture before you go into the class. Like, some lectures are online and you can download the slides. That way you just have a quick 10-minute glance. You now know what's kind of coming up, so then the class becomes more of like a revision or a refresher rather than something that you're hearing for the very first time and you're like, whoa. Do take notes in your lectures. I think obviously people do take notes, but try to take rough notes, because then you're actively listening. One of the things that I do that I find really helpful is when I was in the lecture, I would have written all of these like rough notes of just a few things that I think are important while I'm trying my best to listen. When I get home at the end of the day, I rewrite up those lecture notes into neat. So I'll spend about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes just writing up those lecture notes in neat, which makes me rethink about what was being said and what the context of the one word that I scribbled down meant. And then I will like, oh yeah, I remember, and I'll write down neat notes. Then what I'll do from those neat notes is turn them into flashcards at the end of the week. So just nothing like too tasking or crazy, just a small little flashcard of a summary of the neat notes that I'd made. And then when it comes to revising later on, I'm now like repeating it, like I've already seen it 4 or 3 times, and now it's kind of like, oh yeah, I remember this, rather than I just make those notes in the lecture that I just rough and scrambled and I don't look at them for another year. So basically the main message there is condense, and then condense again. So my next tip, and my best friend of all best friends, is flashcards. Flashcards have saved my life. They are my go-to for everything, because you're basically just making like little tiny packets and nuggets of knowledge that you can carry around with you. You can whip them out anytime, and you can pick a random thing and it has the answers on there. You get to look at it back, you can hide away, look at it, hide, like it's a little game. It's like having like a game of cards in your pocket, and you always win and you always get the ace. Is that the one that wins? I don't really play cards, I actually don't know. Yeah, flashcards are the way forward, because they are a condensed version of your notes, which are a condensed version of your neat notes, which came from the lecturer, who is the person who either sets the exam or even marks it. So I think flashcards end up being your best friend, because they really are the golden key. Another one that I have is the blurt technique. Now this technique is, I feel like it's not as well known, which is crazy to me, because it's such a simple, straightforward, effective method of studying, and it's quick, and it's like for on the spot studying. Like, you have to blurt out everything that you know onto a random piece of paper, then you look at it, see what you did know and didn't know, and then you do it again and you add the information that you didn't know. So it really tests your memory right then and there, and you can see what you got wrong. And I can't explain it very well because I just know how to do it, but my friend Jade and Jade has done an incredible video on the blurt technique, and I will link that down below in the description box so you can check it out. But it's incredible, and I would try that out if you want to test yourself and quiz yourself constantly and always put yourself on the spot just to see what you know. Another tip that I'd recommend, which I stick by, and I've made an incredible video if I must say so myself, detailing exactly how I do it. Now this is more for your long-term memory, something that you want to remember over a long period of time, and it's called the repetition revision method. And my video literally goes in depth, and I physically show you, like, pen, camera to paper, how I do it and how you make the schedule for it, because it's so effective. Basically, you are learning in layers. You're learning the material in a large chunk, but it's done over a period of time, I think 80 days, and it's so effective. Like, the stuff I learned using the repetition revision method, I still know now, and that was for A levels, which was like 4 years ago, and it's crazy. So I would really recommend you check out my video on that, and I'll link it at the end of this video. If your lectures are recorded, which most universities do record them, some of my lecturers just hate being recorded so they don't, but most of them are online and I can go back and rewatch them. What I would recommend you do is, while you're cooking, you can be listening to your lectures. You can even like up the speed so you just don't have to hear the long pauses, the slow speaking. You can speed it up a little, and what that does is it just helps you hear the same thing again in a different setting, and that will help you memorize it differently. So try to hear the same material over and over again in a different way. So if you can listen to it in the lecture live, then you listen to it playback, but you're cooking and it's on like high speed and you're listening, then maybe when you're doing your last layer of revision, you listen to it while you're making notes. I don't know, just try to always engage in the material over and over again in lots of different ways. Some good general habits for general housekeeping to have are: make sure your phone is away from you whenever you are studying. I just don't think it is effective to use your phone around you while you're studying. I think even if you know it's in the same room, you're so tempted to just get up for just 1 second. 25 minutes later, you're still on Instagram. So just get it out of the room. And if you can't because you need it for like emergency reasons, download some apps, Forest app or Block app, some kind of apps that block you from using social media for a certain amount of time. So on the Forest app, you can schedule in, like, I don't know, an hour of study, and it starts to grow a little tree that's on your phone screen, and every time you pick up your phone's like, your tree is going to die. And you can do group study on the Forest app. So check it out, try it out. It is good, but the best way of just preventing that is put your phone downstairs or in your parents' room or your siblings' room, a place where it becomes effort to go and get it. Something else that I'd highly recommend is keep your folders in check. Make sure your folders stay neat. Divide them, get your Polly Pockets, get your dividers, keep it neat, because when you come to revision, you will thank yourself. I play music, but it's not any kind of music. It's always that silent, long music. I literally type in music for study, and it gives you like an hour long of like beautiful piano instrumentals and and it just helps me study. I don't know why, but it just does. So if you want to try that, it would be good. Yeah, that's it. I hope those were helpful. Thank you so much for 30,000 subscribers. I am in shock. I'm just can't believe it. And please do follow me on Instagram, because everything happens on Instagram before it gets to YouTube. Like, I tell everyone everything on Instagram. I ask them what they want to see, and then I bring it to YouTube, because YouTube takes a lot longer to like make a video, edit, upload, whereas Instagram is instant. Please do check out the videos that I recommended, especially the repetition revision method, which is linked down below, because it was so helpful. And thank you so much for watching this. See you guys in my next video. Good luck for university, and comment down below what you think about my video and what you want to see next, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.